my older brother, he had gone to camps down in the States, and they wanted to
Okay.
finish high school in the States. Like, he was like the guy in our area.
Yeah.
I never really had as much buzz as he did.
Did he ever go anywhere?
No, he actually
Okay.
stopped playing after high school. He's actually a pastor now.
No, bro. No.
Yeah, my older brother's a pastor now. Film and photography and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually want to make movies and stuff like that. That's kind of what I want to do as a career.
When did that happen?
When I was like in the 5th, 6th grade.
Oh,
so my dad bought me like a little, and it's funny because this camera was expensive back then. It was probably like $300 or $400 back then.
He bought you a $400 camera in 6th grade.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro?
I know.
What'd you tell him to get that shit?
So my parents are both ministers.
Okay.
And I said, hey, like, if you buy me this camera,
Yeah.
I'll take pictures and stuff for the church.
Oh, okay.
And I'll kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing.
Oh my god.
And I guess that was enough to sway him, so he bought it for me, and I was able to kind of like practice a little bit of photography, video stuff. But the thing is, the camera, looking back on it, was such bad quality. It was like a 9 or 10 pixel camera.
Yeah. Do you still have that camera to this day?
It's at my parents' house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
No
just
way.
it's just an accessory at this point. It
Yeah.
sits on the bench.
And you're saying your parents are ministers?
Yeah,
Both of them?
both of them.
Wow.
Yes, both.
That's
ministers,
crazy.
yeah.
So how was that growing up?
It was cool. I think it was also very challenging because when you have 2 minister parents, right? Like, a lot of expectations are kind of put on you to kind of be the second coming of Jesus Christ. Both your parents are
you serious?
pastors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel
So
that.
I think that pressure was kind of tough at times.
Yeah.
But looking back at it now, just the kind of the lessons they instilled in us from a young age, me and my brothers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it for the world, man.
So
Because
were you a part of the church, and then were you like had to do things through the church, like be a part? Like, what is it called? The kid that helps out with the.
so yeah, usher.
You had to do that.
So we're not Catholic. We're like
Okay.
Pentecostal, similar to Baptist, I would say.
Okay.
Small differences here and there. But yeah, growing up, I would be an usher, a greeter. I sang in the choir at one point, and I cannot sing at all.
You
But
sang in the choir,
yes,
man.
Yes. So I was really
Wow.
shy when I was a kid. And my parents had this plan to put me in the choir to kind of break me out of my shell.
Yeah. Did it? Did it help?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
My godmother was the choir director, so it was just like from all angles, just like
Yeah.
had somebody there kind of like, okay, yeah, you got to do this, you got to sing, so that. I hated it. I remember telling my dad I wanted to quit, and he was like, if you quit now, you'll be quitting everything all your
Everything
life.
you do in your life.
I
Yeah.
was like, man, I just don't want to sing in the choir. But
No.
like, no, I really appreciate all those stuff that they tried to do for me, for sure. It was actually pretty.
That's cool. So do you still go to church to like this day?
Yeah, we still go to church. We kind of, we're in Regina now, so it's kind
Yeah.
of weird having to be away from our home church, as you would say.
Yeah.
But we kind of visit a couple different places.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of teamed up with Moncrief and do like house church.
Oh,
It's like a
okay.
Bible study on Mondays. We do it at his house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty enjoyable, pretty fun.
So you were saying your home church, and where's that? Toronto.
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 Yeah,
So
Protestant
you're
Church
born
of God.
there, hey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, born in Scarborough, which is a suburb. Well, actually, no, it's part of the borough now.
Mm-hmm.
Before it wasn't, but Scarborough, and then my family moved to the Durham region probably when I was in the 3rd or 4th grade.
What region? Yeah.
Durham region, so like Pickering, Ajax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we first moved to Pickering and then we moved to Ajax.
And that's still in Ontario, Toronto
Yeah,
area.
it's still
Okay.
Ontario.
I've never like I'm not used to that area.
I know.
You what I mean?
Whenever you tell people like, "Hey, where you from?" I say like, "Hey, I live in Ajax." They'll be like, "Where is that?"
Like that sounds like you went to like the States or something. Yeah.
It's literally like maybe 30 or 40 minutes east of Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with your parents being ministers and everything, they were totally chill with you joining football and just hitting kids and everything every day, or what?
So this is the funny thing. For the longest time, I couldn't play because back home they practice on Sundays.
Yeah.
So me and my brothers, we wanted to play sports, and if it was on Sunday, it was a no, we're not playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
So I didn't even start playing football until I got to high school.
No way, man.
Yeah.
And then how about high school? They let you go on Sundays or what?
So it was just during the week. We never practiced on Sunday. So
Oh,
we'll
you're lucky.
practice Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll play on Friday, occasional game on Saturday, but we never really had to miss church for anything.
So grade 9 football was your first high school football game or what?
Yep. First time
Wow.
playing football ever.
And you just signed up or the coach come up to you?
He came up to me because my older brother was at that time one of the best football players in our area.
Okay. Was he massive like you too?
Oh, yeah, he was big. Big dude, athletic. So it was kind of like hey, yeah, you're Joel's little brother. You're playing football next year when you get here.
Like no matter what.
Oh yeah, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
And at first I didn't really like it because I grew up playing soccer and basketball, so the contact was just like a crazy contrast for me.
Yeah.
Until I learned to actually kind of use my physical abilities to play.
Yeah.
Because when you don't know how to play football, like I don't know what being tall and athletic means playing the positions I was playing. I played tight end, wide receiver until I got to 11th grade.
Jeez, man. Tight end, wide receiver.
I wasn't that big.
Okay.
So
you were lengthy or what?
My first year of high school was about 5'11", about 175-ish.
Oh, shit, bro.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then my second year, I got to maybe like 6'1", and then going from my sophomore to my junior year, I hit a spurt. I went from 6'1" to like 6'4.5", 6'5" in over the summer.
Damn, and you were lifting too during that time? You weren't lifting?
No.
Oh, damn.
Like
so
I was
huge.
Yeah, I just got big.
Yeah.
And then I remember coming back, and at this time, me and my older brother were playing on the same football team.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh yeah, you played tight end. Well, our right tackle just got hurt. Just play tackle for this game.
How much did you weigh at that point, though?
At that point, I got to like 240.
Okay, so you were a bigger boy, though.
I was a bigger kid. I was like 6'4", 6'5", 240.
Could you move, though?
I can move pretty well.
Okay.
I move pretty well now. So it was actually funny. It was because like our right tackle got hurt. He had hurt his back. He was supposed to miss like a couple of games. I was supposed to play O-line for a couple of games.
Yeah.
I never made it off that line of scrimmage after that, man.
Really? Even when he came back?
Even when he came back? No, he never came back. Actually.
Oh, he never came back.
And it was like I'm playing O-line, and then I remember going and trying to like, hey, like I played O-line last year, but I'm trying to like, no, you're playing O-line.
Yeah. And were you okay with that? Were you having fun with it?
I got to the point where I was like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, it's just gonna be. It is what it is at this point.
I swear that's every O-lineman ever, man.
Yeah.
You
don't want to be catching touchdowns. We don't want to make plays. Nobody really wants to play O-line, I would say. You're kind of forced. I saw this one guy who's talking about offensive line play, and he's like, yeah, like when you have a bunch of athletes, they naturally will gear towards going to the receivers, the DBs, and throwing the football around. You have to kind of make kids go down and hit that sled. Like, kids don't want to go. Have all the options, go and push the sled. Who wants to do that? It's not fun.
It's not the one thing you want to do. You want to go catch balls with your buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
so they kind of bring those big kids down, and they're like, okay, just push that sled, and you start to push it, and once you show you can do that well, it is over for you. You're not playing anywhere else.
So when did you get in there? Grade 10 or grade 9?
I played O-line for the first time in grade 11.
Oh, so grade 11. So fast forward to grade 11, you get in. And then grade 12, where you're like, this is my thing now? Or what?
Yeah. I kind of try to be like, hey, I play tight end and deep. No, you play O-line.
Yeah, you play O-line.
You play O-line. Let's be real. Those other things we could throw you out there. Yeah. But you play O-line. So
in grade 12, did you get recruited?
Barely. So it was actually funny. I had a bunch of like Canadian schools that were interested in me. Yeah. But just because in high school, I never really had a direction what I wanted to do after football. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna go and do a trade or go to a local college. That was kind of my mindset.
Oh, you didn't even think about playing football?
I wasn't really thinking about it afterwards at all. Yeah. It wasn't until after my senior year, I was sitting home during the Christmas break, and I remember watching a bowl game. Yeah. And I think it was a Florida bowl game, and I remember seeing the environment and seeing just what college football down south was. Yeah. And I had that moment in my life. It's like, I want to do that. Yeah. Like, I want to do that. Like, and I remember telling my friends and my parents and stuff, and not to say they were discouraging, but they're like,
yeah. Like, you just started playing football in grade 9.
Yeah, like it wasn't like my older brother, he had gone to camps down in the States, and they wanted to finish high school in the States. Like, he was like the guy in our area. Yeah. I never really had as much buzz as he did.
Did he ever go anywhere?
No, he actually stopped playing after high school. He's actually a pastor now.
No, bro, no.
Yeah, my older brother's a pastor now.
You know what your life's coming to now.
Oh, I know, right? So it's just funny because, like, I think it was like, hey, we went through this whole process with your older brother, and he decided he didn't want to play football anymore. Yeah, so I'm not really gonna
put that time and effort into it. You know what I mean?
So it wasn't really until I remember kind of going through the process of, okay, how do I achieve
this
plan?
Yeah. And so you went to JUCO, hey?
Yeah, but it's before I went to JUCO.
Okay.
I literally had to go to my guidance counselor, like, hey, like I want to play Division I football, and they're like, buddy, you gotta write SATs, you gotta be in these classes, you have to have these things.
And what grade was this in when you came?
This is grade 12.
Oh, so you're way past what you're supposed to do.
Oh yeah. So they're like, that's not happening. Like,
they're like, what the hell?
You
bro?
better figure something else out.
Yeah.
And I remember just talking to one of my friends, and he had some friends who went to JUCO. And at this time, I didn't know what that was. All I know is you can go there, and you can play there for 2 years and transfer to a Division I.
Yeah.
So my plan was actually I'm going to go JUCO, and then I'll just simply go Division I afterwards. Like, how hard can it really be?
That was your goal.
That was my goal. So me, if anybody who knows me knows I'm super obsessive when I have a plan and a goal. So I literally went on the internet over the course of 3 days, and I've emailed every single junior college in the United States.
Everyone?
Every single
How'd you find it? Just like research on the computer?
Research on the computer.
Yeah.
I will see the divisions. I will look up what the email is for their head coach or their recruiting coordinator, and I would send them an email introducing myself with a clip to my highlight tape.
And you didn't care anywhere? You didn't care where it was? It was just anywhere?
I didn't know any better. I didn't know where anything kind of was. So I remember hearing back from only three schools.
That's enough, though.
Hey, that was enough.
That was enough, right?
So the first school I heard back from was a school in Arizona Western.
Nice.
The second one was a school called Fresno City College in California.
Okay.
And the other one was a school called ASA in New York.
Oh, all nice places.
Pretty cool places to be.
Yeah.
So I remember I was talking to the O-line coach back and forth, and he was like, okay, like, we like your size. Like, can you send us a whole game tape? And back in that time, like, getting people to actually record your games and having a highlight tape was something that was very difficult.
Oh, so you didn't even have a highlight tape or anything?
I had like a highlight tape composed of like 3 or 4 games I've got from other people.
Yeah.
But most of my games went unrecorded.
That's shit.
So it was a little bit frustrating, but I sent him my tape, and then he was like, okay, we think we're going to bring you in.
Hey.
All set to go.
Yeah.
Scholarship school too. They're going to help me in terms of financing.
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah.
So I was super excited, and literally probably 3 or 4 months before I was about to go, he messaged me back. He's like, hey, sorry to spring this on you, but we're actually going to go with somebody closer to our area because we understand a little bit more of the competition they're facing, and we think that he'll fit our program a little bit better. Like,
devastating.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah.
And I was, at that point, was like heartbroken, bro. I was like, bro, I'm about to graduate. I'm thinking I'm going here.
Yeah.
I stopped talking to my other schools. Like, and I remember kind of following back up with the other schools, and the other school, Arizona Western's like, yeah, you're not good enough to play here.
They just said that straight up?
Oh, straight up. They're like,
Jesus.
yeah, you're not good enough to play here.
Fuck.
Best of luck to you. So now at least one school.
Yeah. At least they were all straight up. You know what I mean?
And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I left one school in Fresno City College, and I remember talking to them. This school is totally non-scholarship.
Fuck.
You got to cover everything out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like, oh my gosh. Like, I grew up with, my parents are 2 immigrants from the Caribbean. It's not like we're rolling in cash, right? And I remember just talking to my mom about it. And
American money too.
American money.
Yeah.
At that time, to even get your I-20, you had to show you had $20,000 in your account to even apply to get your I-20 to go to that school.
Wow, fuck.
So I was like, this is looking grim.
Yeah.
And the benefit of having Christian parents who are pastors, boy, they will pray, and there's always faith.
There's always a way.
Always a way. My mom came. I remember just going to my room, just devastated about the whole situation.
Yeah.
My mom's like, don't worry. Like, just have faith and believe. We're going to figure something out. I can see you're passionate about this, and we'll figure something out for you. Like, just have faith.
Yeah.
And my mom ended up going to my grandmother at the time and talking to my grandma about the situation. My grandma's like, okay, he wants to go to school. I'm going to pull out money from my retirement to give him in order to go to school.
Jesus.
Bro.
Shout out grandma.
Shout out grandma. And it's crazy when I think about it too, is my grandma never been to any of my football games. She never seen me play sports. Till the day that she died, my grandma thought I played baseball.
No fucking way. She just believed in you, bro.
Bro, she just like,
you know
my
I mean?
grandson wants to go to school.
Regardless.
She's like, I remember her calling me on the phone, and she's just like, my mom tells me you want to go to school in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. She goes, oh, you're going to go down there and play baseball. I was like, no, grandma's football. Okay, well, that's okay. Well, I'm going to give you the money to go. Just make sure when you're there, you study hard and all those things like that. And I was just like, wow. That was like my first experience of like, yo, this is a person who loves me this much without any real evidence of a return on their investment. It was just like, yo, here you go.
Crazy.
And I remember just going, taking that money, and flying out there to California. Never been to the school, never been to coaches, never been to the California in general.
Yeah.
And it's taking a chance and moving out there to go to school out there. So
going out there and knowing that your grandma gave you that like money, like must have gave you that extra motivation to be like, I'm gonna prove all this shit.
Extra motivation. It was like that juice where it's like, oh, I can't fail.
Yeah.
Like there can't be a way I'm gonna fail in this situation.
Yeah. Grandma on your side, church on your side. There's no way.
Because it was more so the fear of like me washing out, failing, not doing well, and then having to come back and sit there and be like, I wasted you guys' time and money. Right? Like I said, my grandma's an immigrant too. It's not like these guys have wads of cash just rolling around. Her giving me that cash was like a real, like, I'm sacrificing for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just kind of to go through that process and kind of go out there was so humbling. Was super humbling.
Did you ever get to like watch a game at all?
My grandma never watched me play football a day in my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, super crazy. Now I'm out here in California. My cousin and one of my best friends, they were able to come with me at that time. So it was 3 Canadian kids. We're out there in California living in apartments and not necessarily understanding the process of what was going on.
Yeah.
We kind of like, by faith, kind of just jumped out there. And it's funny because, like, we didn't realize the apartment we rented was like an hour bus ride from the school. Like,
an hour bus ride, bro.
Hour bus ride.
Oh, shit.
So it was just like, wow, it's just crazy. So in the morning, we had to get up.
Did you have to pay for that or no?
Oh, we had to pay for everything.
Everything.
Every single dime came out of our pocket, man.
Jeez,
which was
bro.
Super tough. Like,
yeah.
Super, super tough. So
that helped you like learn how to save money too, really young, or like budget.
I think it helped me kind of realize the value of money, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it fully until I had to kind of go through that process where, hey, now you don't necessarily. My parents would be like, hey, okay, here's some cash. You got to budget it because there's no more to get after this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, oh, wow, like I have to go now buy groceries. I have to make decisions of, okay, do I buy name brand stuff or do I buy no name stuff?
It's crazy. When you get to that that position in life, man, it's crazy.
100%.
You know what I mean?
So that process was just kind of like a true understanding of the value of a dollar. Because prior to then, I only had one job in my whole entire life, and it was working at the YMCA. So, like, I didn't really understand cash. My parents never gave us allowance or anything.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
So it's not like it's like, okay, like I'm buying stuff consistently all the time. If that makes sense. Yeah. No, it was super crazy.
Yeah. Back to JUCO. So how long did you stay there for?
I stayed at my California JUCO for 1 full year.
1 full year.
Yeah.
So like a full 365 days?
No, just 2 semesters.
Okay.
So how it went is we went up there probably July just to kind of get acclimated to Cali and the city before we started school, and we started doing a little bit of practicing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember just kind of going through that process of kind of learning and meeting people. Like, I didn't know anybody in California at all, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it was kind of that process of, like, okay, like, how do we get to the grocery store? And how do we get here and there? And it was like, when you don't have a car in those spaces and you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
I remember us having to take the bus to the grocery store and then come back with bags and handfuls of groceries, just like full out sweating and everything. By the time you get home, you don't even want to eat. You just want to go lay down.
So is this you and teammates you're saying?
Yeah, me and my cousin and one of my best friends growing up. We went there. So.
And did you guys stay in a house or did you guys stay in dorms or something?
An apartment building.
Oh,
like
shit.
An apartment like an hour away from campus. So there was
that's where the place was.
There was no dorms. There was no, because of the area by the school is very dangerous, I would say. Like a lot of gang activity. So they kind of encouraged most of us to live away in like a suburb of the city. So, which was good. At least we didn't have to live in the area where our doors getting kicked in all the time.
No, seriously. Were you by the beaches at all?
Oh, no. We're in Fresno, California. That's
I didn't know. I don't know anything about the fucking states.
That's desert.
Oh, it's desert.
Yeah, that's valley.
Shit.
There's nothing out there at all.
Oh, fuck me.
Super boring.
I was thinking California,
no.
Oceans maybe.
And that's exactly what I was thinking too. I'm going to California. I can't wait. And I get off the plane. I was like, wow, this is Cali. This is crazy. Where's the beach, man? The beach a couple of hours from here, right?
That's shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. They didn't tell us all that stuff until we got there, but we definitely thought what we thought California was. It was not like that when we got there. It was straight. Like,
so how'd you pass the time other than school and football in Cali in the desert?
Friends, bro. Like, it was crazy because when you go to JUCO, you kind of meet a lot of other people who are from all places around the country who are trying to do a similar thing that you're trying to do, right? So there's a group of guys from New York, a group of guys from Louisiana, some guys are local guys, some guys are from Texas, and we all kind of came there, and you meet them, and you kind of build a relationship. And
that's a cool thing about football, bro.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you're going to meet a new group of guys that are from everywhere, man.
100%. And that's like the unique thing about, I would say, football. Maybe other sports too, I don't know. But like football is especially like that. Especially when you go to JUCO, everybody's goal is, hey, I want to go Division I. And that's kind of what everybody's plan is. And you kind of see quickly, okay, who's serious about that and who's not serious about that. Who can you be cool with and who you got to stay with because they're not going to really help you get to your next level.
Could you tell right away?
I could tell right away. I think it took me a little while to kind of learn because I didn't necessarily know. I didn't understand what it took to get to the next level. I was lucky enough to have a coach, Coach Popovich, who played Division I football. He was actually I went to Fresno State. He actually coached in the NFL for a while too, the Patriots. So
I was thinking the NBA coach.
Oh yeah, So
I was like, oh my god, bro.
But no, like he kind of took us young linemen and set us on a different path than a lot of the people there were, because he would be like, hey, after you're done class, you're not gonna go home. You're gonna come and sit in the academic center, do all your homework. I'm gonna sit in here with you, and then after that, we're gonna go lift.
That's sick, man. That guy gave a fuck,
bro. He cared, bro, and to this day, bro, like probably. I would say he is a major reason why I ended up going to OU and being the number 1 tackle in the country coming out of JUCO. It was him.
So yeah, I saw that. Fast forward, so you can get like 4 stars or 5 stars out of JUCO, right?
Yeah.
And you were a 4-star recruit coming out of JUCO, and that's highly praised to this man. Hey?
Yeah, 100%.
He taught you the position because you were only in the game for 4 years before JUCO. Hey,
I only played O-line for really 2.
Yeah, because grade 11, hey, you're your tight end, my guy, tight end.
Yeah. So like, I remember just going there and him kind of just taking the time and really being appreciated. Like I appreciated like him not skipping over me like other people could have done. Well, this kid doesn't know anything. He's of no use to us. Like
that's sick, man. Those coaches can help you a lot in the long run.
Bro. And to this day, it was one of those people you was run through the wall for that guy. Bro.
Sweet.
Like,
do you still talk to him at all?
I still talk to him, man. No, like I remember as a surprise, I lost contact with him for a while. And as a surprise, my wife actually went to my phone and got a contact information for him. And then she actually got him to make like a happy birthday videos for me. And it was actually like wow, I haven't got a chance to talk to him in a while, and ever since then, like,
is he still coaching or is he done?
He's still coaching. He's coaching at, I believe, last time I checked in, at Troy.
Okay.
Troy or one of those Division I schools.
Damn, good for him, man. He's still helping out the kids and everything.
So when I first got to my Cali JUCO, freshman in there, kind of learning the ropes. I ended up, after the first game, I wasn't a starter. I was like the backup right tackle.
Oh, okay.
And I remember this vividly because I think this was like everybody in their life has a moment where they're like, okay, my life took a turn. It was this game. We were playing some random team, and our quarterback, very good quarterback at the time, he threw an interception. Our starting left tackle, he runs down the field and he gets absolutely blindsided. You see like hit, and then you see cleats in the air, helmet flying everywhere, and he was just like concussed.
Jesus.
And I remember him come off the field, and then the backup left tackle at the time, he was like, okay, like he's preparing to go in, and he's kind of excited. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And my O-line coach, he came, looked at me, he's like, Josiah's going in.
Oh.
And at this point, I have not played left tackle at all.
And you weren't expecting this at all, hey?
I was the backup right tackle. The backup left tackle was there. Like, why am I going in left tackle? So then I remember him looking at me. He's like, Josiah's in. And then the backup left tackle, he starts getting mad. He goes, this is bullshit. And, like, they started having, like, a screaming match. I remember he said something that stuck with me. He's like, no, he's been here. He's been working hard. He's going in.
Damn, bro.
And he looked at me. He slapped my hand. He's like, take your opportunity.
Yeah, get the hell in there. That's a big thing, bro, taking your opportunity in sports.
That's all sports is.
Yeah, it's crazy. You never know when it's going to come either. You never know. You just got to be prepared.
Gotta be prepared.
And it's crazy how they almost didn't fuck you, but they put you in at left tackle, right? But it's big as an lineman switching, isn't it?
Huge. That's
like, what I mean.
For me, I think when you switch sides as a lineman, it just it forces you to think more. Like now, you're not necessarily working off of muscle memory and comfortability. Now I have to make sure, okay,
you're thinking. And
as a lineman, you don't want to have to think that much.
Yeah, you want to go off instinct.
You want to react to what's going on. You like when you get more experienced, you don't have to necessarily think. You can feel. You know what things feel like when situations are kind of happening around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember him being like, left tackle, he's going in. And I remember in that moment, it's like, yo, like, I can't go in there and just shit the bed. Like,
Yo, yeah.
So I remember the very first couple of plays, I'm just locking people down.
Lit.
And I'm just like, yo, like, I remember thinking to myself, like, this is all American football is? Like, this is it? Because remember, you're Canadian. You think that you go down south and everybody is, like, superhuman.
Yeah, that's
like,
every Canadian thinks that, right?
And
even
it's just
college,
like, this is all American football is. I'm about to destroy everybody.
Yeah.
And just having that year and me just ever since that day, I was the starting left tackle the rest of the season. We went undefeated until the semifinals.
Jeez, was that guy pissed though? The backup left tackle.
He was super pissed. He moved to D-line the year after that. I'm pretty sure.
The D-line,
but he was just like, but it was tough because we were friends too. Like, so it was like I couldn't be too happy because he was like, oh, it's a BS. He just doesn't like me. But like, I was happy on the inside because okay, like this is my chance, my opportunity.
Damn, bro.
So kind of like fast forwarding through the season, I played pretty well.
Yeah.
I was the starting left tackle all through the year. Got more experience, and I remember after the season was done, I made a highlight tape and I started sending it to a bunch of Division I programs.
You're pumped.
Oh, I was super pumped. Like, hey, like, kind of seeing where I could go. Like, I didn't know what the landscape would look like. Going to JUCO, I expected probably to go to an FCS school, like, nothing that's super big. I didn't really have dreams of a high school kid in Canada going and playing at Alabama.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't my thought, really. It's like, if I can just go somewhere, get my school paid for, get to finish school down south, like, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's all Grandma wanted.
That's all she wanted, right? And I remember just walking on campus, and I got a call, and it's the coach at Cal Berkeley. He's like, hey, how you doing today? My name is this.
You're like,
I'm not supposed to be talking to you right now. It's a dead period, but we saw your highlight tape. We really like what we see.
Yeah.
And just know if you want to come to Cal Berkeley, you have a scholarship offer here for you. And I remember hanging on the phone, looking at my friend. He's like, bro, I just got a call from Cal saying they want to give me a football scholarship. And he was like, what? I'm like, bro, yes.
That's crazy, man.
And then as the weeks progressed, I got more and more and more and more offers.
Wow,
it was crazy. Like, it was just like such a surreal like feeling. Is because like, bro, a year prior to that, I couldn't beg JUCOs to take me on.
Yeah.
And now I have a bunch of Division I schools who want to line up to give me a scholarship.
That one team said you weren't good enough to come play for them.
Oh yeah, I have a story about that after that.
Okay.
It's super funny.
Yeah.
So I remember going through the spring, and we had spring ball practice, and I remember we're doing drills, and there was probably about 30 Division I schools who were there.
Yeah.
And as we're doing drills, we're doing team, and then we have O-line drills, and we go on the far side of the field. And when we go down there, I just see waves of coaches just coming and just like watching me practice.
Shit,
and my heart just like going crazy. Like, yo, don't mess anything up. Make sure you're looking good. Like
opportunity.
You had big schools there. Coach Kittle, I believe he came in from Oklahoma. He actually didn't actually end up coaching me. He actually took another job afterwards. But Alabama was there, Arkansas was there, Fresno State was there. A bunch of Division I schools that are watching me practice, and it's just like how quickly things can change in your life, bro.
That is crazy, man.
Super crazy, because you never know when the opportunity's coming. You never know when things can kind of flip on its head.
Well, that's all life is, man. Just opportunities within your life. You just gotta take them.
I just remember just kind of being out there and just having a moment to myself, bro. Like, bro, God is so good. Like, just seeing this opportunity I'm getting, where a kid from Ajax, Ontario, who last year had nowhere to go pretty much other than this one place, is now going to be playing Division I football.
Yeah, like, you're paying out of pocket to go play football.
Yes.
And now they want you to just play football, and we're going to pay for everything.
Super, super, super exciting, right?
Yeah.
So the year ends out. At that point, I have about 30-something offers from Division I schools. So I have a boatload of offers.
How'd you process this?
I didn't really process it until maybe when I was done JUCO in general. I remember having like a box in my dorm room full of letters, like full of like school letters that was sending like different recruitment stuff. I remember pouring it out on my bed and just looking at this and being like, bro, this is crazy to have all these offer letters and stuff like that from these schools, and like what a blessing it kind of was. And that's when I kind of hit me that like I'm playing my goal I set out to do, what I thought was so unrealistic, like I'm about to walk into that, if that makes sense. Super, super exciting. Almost unbelievable. And a lot of people I tell this story to is like, bro, I don't know how you did it, but hats off to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the process. But the end of that, my first year JUCO, I started getting a bunch of calls from other JUCOs being like, hey, like, we see you're at this California JUCO. We know you're paying to go there. If you want to transfer here, like, we'll give you a full scholarship.
Yeah, but you'd rather go Div 1, though.
So you have to actually, because I wasn't a qualifier out of high school, I had to get my AA. So I had to stay at JUCO for 2 years.
No way, man.
Yes.
And when did you find that out?
When I was there.
Oh, my God. Was it after all these offers were coming in? Or was it before?
No, I knew before. So,
okay.
I remember the very first, 2 weeks on campus, they took us out to, an academic meeting.
Yeah.
And they gave us a list full of classes we had to have before we transferred to Division I. I was like, I have to pass all these classes.
Before I go.
Oh, my. It felt like it was going to take years. But, when you're playing sports down south, you're taking 5, sometimes 6 classes a semester.
That's what I heard, yeah.
So that just kind of was the case. So I remember kind of after the year was done, all these JUCOs wanted me to transfer. And it's so funny. Arizona Western and ASA, the 2 schools that basically, one said I wasn't good enough and one gave away my spot, were contacting me and being like, hey, we want you to transfer back. Transfer over here.
You must have been laughing.
Oh, I was like, how the mighty have fallen. How the shoe is now on the other foot, if that makes sense.
So what'd you do? You didn't go back to those schools,
I didn't go back to either one of those schools.
No, I was going to say.
I went to a school called Trinity Valley in Texas, where I spent the next year.
Texas?
Yeah, Texas. I love Texas.
What made you choose that? Because you probably had 20 offers probably at JUCO, right?
Yeah, I had a bunch of. I could have went to pretty much any JUCO I wanted to. I think the reason why I went to that school is they were connected to somebody I knew back home, and they kind of orchestrated how that was going to go. And they were talking to my dad, and at this point, my dad is over the moon because he was calling me. He's like, hey, I have all these JUCOs calling me saying they want you to transfer, pay for everything, so pack your things, you're leaving, basically. I love my JUCO I was at. I didn't want to leave.
Did they not offer you a full scholarship?
They can't give scholarship at that school. So no Cali JUCOs could give scholarships back then. So
shit.
It was tough. I wanted to stay. I already made bonds with my friends, my teammates. I didn't want to go, my coaches.
Yeah.
But it's just like my dad's like, we're not going to be sitting here paying out of pocket for another year when I can send you to a school that's going to pay for everything.
Seriously, yeah.
So I just remember going to school in Texas for a year. And after the season was done,
anything stand out in Texas? Like a coach or anything like the other school did?
Not necessarily. I met a couple of really cool people there.
Yeah. You just knew that you had to get through that year to go Div 1.
Yeah. And I think that was the tough part. It was just just get through the year, stay healthy, and just get out of here.
And you did.
Got through the year, stayed healthy. For the most part, I had a couple of small things here and there. I hyperextended my elbow, which wasn't super bad.
The worst thing. Yeah.
But it was kind of like when you know you're about to go Division I, is like, how much do you think you should push this at this point?
Exactly. What'd you do? Did you play through it?
Somewhat, until I kind of shut it down near the end of the year. I was like, I'm about to sign. I'm about to come in and go somewhere else.
After that year, how'd you figure out where you're going to come in after all these 30+ offers come in?
It was tough. So originally, I was going to go to a school, Texas Tech, the school that Pete went to. I was going to be there with Pete.
Shout out Pete.
That's kind of where I was going. Really enjoyed my visit. The O-line coach was a man of faith. I really connected with him.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my mindset. I verbal to them, like, I'm coming to Texas Tech. And literally probably 3 weeks before National Signing Day, the whole staff quit and went to University of Cincinnati. Fuck. So it was bro. Whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was planning on coming on there, and then the whole staff is gone now.
And they didn't warn you at all?
No, they didn't warn you at all. They just went. I remember getting a call from the coach being like, hey, we went to Cincinnati. We still think the world of you. We want you to come to Cincinnati. But I don't know, just the way they went away about it at that point in time. And now I know it's just business. That's how things move at Division I football. Like, coaches will move like nothing.
No, yeah.
At that time, I was like, oh, you kind of just took off on this team. You were saying how much of a team environment, or a family environment was. You wanted to build this family that you wanted to be a part of, and then you just took off in the middle of the night. Like, I'm good. I'm not going over there.
Yeah.
And I kind of just reopened my recruitment. And it was between literally 2 schools, University of Kansas and Oklahoma. And at the time, the Kansas program was trash. It was horrible.
So why were you thinking there?
Bro, the recruiter was so persistent. Like, he would not take no for an answer.
Yeah.
I remember him calling me, and he was like, hey, we want you to come on a visit. And I was like, it's kind of close to the time I'm supposed to go home. He's like, hey, if you come here on a visit, we will bring you for the weekend. I'll fly you back to Toronto and have a car service take you back to your house.
Damn.
So now I was talking to my mom. She was like, "Yeah, take that because we don't want to pay for your flight back home." She's like, "I don't pay for your flight back home, so take that." So I remember I was just going on this visit just to go on a visit. I had no intention of going to Kansas, but I remember kind of meeting the people there, super dope people, and they were making some sort of JUCO all-star team. All the best JUCO guys are gonna go and kind of turn the program around because they've been pretty bad prior to this, and that was really the motivating factor of me doing it. I remember on the visits when I found out Texas Tech staff left, and the recruiter ran up to me. He's like, "You see this? Yeah, these guys all left. You want to be a program or something like that? Come over here to Kansas."
No way,
bro. They were on it. The recruiting is cutthroat.
Yeah, I can see now.
It's super cutthroat.
Wow.
So I remember kind of weighing my options. Like, hey, do I go to Kansas or do we go to Oklahoma? And I thought about it for a little while. And I was like, I can't not go to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
At that time, Lane Johnson was just leaving. I was seeing how he was doing at the Senior Bowl and what he was projected to do in the NFL. One of my favorite linemen of all time, Trent, was already in the NFL. He went to OU prior. So they have a roadmap of producing pretty good offensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? I think this is probably the best decision for me.
Yep.
And I ended up going to OU. My visit to OU was pretty bad, to be honest with you. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Why? Why was it so bad?
So
and you went there.
Yeah, I went there,
fuck?
and it was a guy. What's his name? His nickname was Sooner Dave. I can't remember his full name, but he told me something that kind of stuck with me. So they played University of Notre Dame the year Notre Dame went to the national championship. They lost. So when you lose at OU, like, the city's dead. Like, nobody's going out and partying.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
It was just super dead. So after we lost, it was just like the city was just dead. It was boring. So
really,
like, yeah, I was like, I didn't really want to go. But he told me something that kind of stuck with me. He's like, understand when you're choosing a school, pick what's real. Like he said, see the hotel you're staying in, you're never gonna stay there again.
Yeah.
See the steakhouse you went to, you can't afford to eat there, so you're never gonna eat there again. You better figure out what's going to actually drive you to your school. And then those things were the academic people you're going to be working with, your coaches, and your teammates.
It's all true, though.
Those are people you're going to be interacting with on a daily basis. So if you're going to make a decision, make it based off of those things and not on, what visit was the most fun or who took you to the nicest restaurants, because they're going to do anything possible to make sure they kind of steer you to go to their school. Like, that's
and at 1920, it's hard to realize that.
It is really hard to. I don't think I would have unless he told me that day.
Wow.
He was just like, yeah, no one's real. Like, all these things that you're factoring don't matter. The three things that matter: academics, coaches, teammates.
Crazy. That guy was in your life for a reason. You know what I mean?
And at the right moment too.
The right moment, right time.
And it's so crazy. Funny too, because like my visit there was just so bad, and I think he maybe saw it on my face, and he was just like, hey, like, yeah, maybe think about these other things too, because I was like, man, it's time to go, bro. Like, at that point, I didn't really enjoy my time. Like,
damn, man.
And I remember him telling me that, and he was just like, yeah, bro, you better factor these things in. I remember just going through my visit and the academic services, and I remember the night before the game, a couple of the red shirts took me to a movie. We hung out, super solid guys, some guys who have a strong faith base.
Okay.
And then the coaching staff, what I liked about them is they are consistent. Like, Oklahoma's coaching staff doesn't change over too often. When I got there, it was Bob Stoops. And then after that, Lincoln Riley came and he left. But for the most part, coaches don't really leave OU to go other places.
Well, that's good then.
It's like a blue blood program. So I at least knew, okay, the people I'm going to be around are going to be these people. Yeah. And that's kind of what I want to base my decision off of. That makes sense.
So where'd you sign? How'd you make it official?
So I was at home hanging out with my brothers, and my brother was like, yo, you should just commit today if you know you're going to Oklahoma. Like, what are you waiting for?
Just do it, bro.
And I was like, yeah, you know, you're right. He goes, okay, like, can I tweet it out? I'm like, sure. And he tweets, I'm making my decision tonight at 7:00.
Your brother?
For dramatics, yeah.
He kills me, bro.
So the whole, and how OU fans are, like, I'm getting messages and DMs and people like, oh, like, you know, like, you got to come here and da-da-da-da, and talking. And then literally he tweets out, I'm taking my talents to Oklahoma University.
Which he did it for you?
Yeah, he did it for me. But it's actually University of Oklahoma, but it's OU. But he kind of said it wrong. People like, he doesn't know how to say the university.
Some people said that shit?
100%.
That's so fucking funny,
But it was just funny because, like, I ended up just committing that day off the spur of the moment and rolled with that.
Was this your pastor brother who did it too?
No, my younger brother. My younger brother
curious.
did that too.
I was like the pastor brother. I was like, damn, he's really into it still.
Nah. My younger brother.
That's sick, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
It was pretty dope. It's surreal, super surreal.
And your phone just blew up. Hey?
Blew up.
Family was happy with you. Was grandma there at that point?
No, where was my grandma?
Was she still around though?
No, she was still around.
That's awesome. She was still around to notice that shit and everything.
But all to the day, she thought I was going to play baseball.
I know. But still, bro, it's still sick as fuck.
She knew I was going to school.
Yeah.
I think a funny thing too, and I forgot to mention this about my decision to go to Oklahoma, is I remember Coach Stoops calling me. He's like, hey, I really want to show you how interested we are, so I want to come and see you. Yeah. And I was like, okay, like that'd be cool. He said, or would you rather me go see your parents? And I was like, you know what? Give me a second. I asked my dad, and my dad was all excited. No, tell him to come here to the house, and I want to talk to him, basically.
That's cool, man.
And it's crazy how much money these programs have.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Stoops took a private jet from Norman, flew all the way to Toronto, got in a car service, went to my front door, and had tea with my parents for maybe 15 minutes, and then flew back home.
Crazy. But that meant everything to your family, probably.
Oh, my dad was over the moon about that.
That's what I mean.
He's like, I remember, I don't know till this day, I remember talking to him a couple of years ago, and he's like, yeah, Coach Stoops came and sat in my house, and he sat and had tea. They took pictures with him.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's super crazy when you think about it. But those small things that schools can do to kind of show you that they want you to go there are everything.
Huge,
big,
man.
Right?
So that's how you became a fucking Sooner, bro.
Sooner, man.
Sweet.
Funny thing is, I think I was the first ever Canadian to play at Oklahoma.
Really?
I think so.
No, bro. That has to be a stat.
It's either that or there was like some sort of random. No, I think I was, bro.
Bro, okay, that's crazy then.
Funny thing is because I remember watching a game. Actually, no, that's a lie. I didn't watch the game. Somebody sent me a screenshot of it, screen record of it. They were watching the live telecast of the game. Yeah. And after me, Neville Gallimore came. He plays for the Cowboys.
I remember Neville, yeah.
Canadian kid as well.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, Canadian D lineman Neville Gallimore. Do you know who the first Canadian was to play at Oklahoma? Josiah St. John.
Bro, you must have been like, whoa.
Super crazy, bro. It's a bunch of firsts, bro. It's super, super crazy.
Minister's kid.
I know. Crazy, right? How things happen like that.
How things fucking happen.
Yeah.
That's a stat, though. Yeah. I wonder how they found that out.
I don't know. They were trying to find it for a while, and there was whispers of maybe somebody way back in, the 50s or 60s who was a Canadian kid playing football there. But I don't know if that was confirmed or not.
Okay. But so at OU, did you redshirt any years? Your first year?
My first year redshirting.
Okay.
My very first year. Yeah. I remember going in there redshirting. It's funny because when I went there, I was 320 pounds, ready to play college football. I thought I was big and bad, and they're like, yeah. So we have these machines where you get your body fat percentage measured.
Yeah. Shit gets serious.
Oh yeah. It was like, okay, we looked at you, you're 27 or 28% body fat. The standard for O-lineman here is 23%, so you can't play until you hit that.
Oh, really? You can't play until you hit that?
Can't play until you hit that.
A body weight percentage?
I was like, oh my, this is real. This is
yeah, what?
This is crazy now. So the redshirted my first year, I went from 325 pounds to 275 in the semester.
What the fuck?
Working out.
Yeah. They
have a nutritionist there, catering your meals to you, super serious
all
stuff.
Paid for?
All paid for. Crazy. All paid for. So just remember going through that process of.
When you were going through that process, did you realize holy shit, all this is paid for? At all? Or was it everybody, this is what it is, this is the normal now?
I think it became the normal now because I went to a school on scholarship before there. So it's you kind of got used to I don't have to pay for books. I don't have to pay for housing. You don't even have to kind of second guess that. You just know I have a place to stay. I can swipe into the cafeteria, get food.
Crazy.
Which wasn't actually at that time. It wasn't that good.
It wasn't.
After the cost of attendance came in a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where I think it was Shabazz Napier after they went to the national championship at UConn. He was like, "Yeah, people don't understand. We don't have enough food to eat and da 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 da." I can definitely see that because our cafeteria was closed on the weekend, and you get $50 on the weekend to get food, and in my situation, they would take out American and Canadian taxes. So I got $35 for the weekend.
What the fuck?
Great trash.
Yeah, so it's not that great then.
So during the week you're good, but on the weekend, I remember having times where it's just okay, am I going to pay my phone bill this week or I'm going to eat this weekend?
Oh, gee, so it was a struggle still.
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle because of the whole improper benefits through compliance. They're very strict on what they can actually give. Not now. It's a free.
Kids nowadays are getting a free for all, man. They're getting like $80K just to come.
Bro, it's insane. There's kids who are on college campuses with millions of dollars. That's mind blowing. But yeah, what a time to be alive, if I would say. Man.
No, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Good for the kids.
Good for them. But yeah, so that time was kind of a little bit of a struggle. It wasn't always like that. My senior years when they actually brought in cost of attendance. So we got more money. Now they can actually put more food in our locker rooms. Yeah. Like, it was actually way better. And then they got even better after I left. Like, these guys will get a bunch of cash. They can swipe anywhere on campus. But yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, through my first year, redshirted. The second year, I was the swing tackle behind Daryl Williams.
Okay.
And Tyra. Both of them played in the NFL for a little bit. Daryl just retired. Shout out to Daryl, my guy in Daryl. And was able to play behind those guys. And they were kind of in that process of grooming me to kind of be the guy going into my senior year.
Yeah.
Grooming me to be the guy going to my senior year. So
you didn't play till your senior year at OU?
Not to my senior year. Well,
wow,
I did. So what they would do is we'll be playing a team, and once we got in a position where we were doing good or like playing well or balling out, they would put me in.
For sure.
So then I'll play a couple of series with the starters, and then after that, they would let the backups play.
Damn, yeah.
So they were grooming me in that instance until my senior year, and then my senior year, I got a chance to actually start and play.
That's elite, bro.
Yeah, no.
That's just how they do it, though, hey?
Yeah.
Even at Bama, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it's always, there's positive and negatives to going to big programs like that. When you go to big programs like that, is the quality of players you're playing with are all pretty good, right? So if I went to a small school, I am by far the most talented person there. So I'm going to play very soon. Yeah. But I play behind two guys who are going to the NFL next year.
Exactly.
So they're like, okay, well, there's no real necessary need for you to play right now. So going into my senior year now, all the expectations, all the hype, I thought I was about to smash this.
Go in the NFL.
Go to NFL. Yeah. Because OU has a tradition of putting tackles in the NFL.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah.
I remember just in the springtime seeing Lane and Trent, those guys coming back, and Donald Stevenson, all those guys coming back, Tyrus, and just them kind of encouraging me, be like, okay, yeah, like you're up next, bro. This kind of have the time of your life because you're about to. You're about to go at this point. Remember, I came out of JUCO, the number one tackle in the country, 4-star recruit. I thought I was about to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. That's what people were telling me, at least.
Yeah. So how'd that senior year go then?
Oh, it went well at first. Yeah. And then it went horribly wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, first 4 games went pretty well. I got my first road start at Tennessee, where we played at Tennessee, 102,000 people.
How is that atmosphere playing like that?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I wish there was like a simulator I can put people in so you can actually feel that environment. Yeah. Because you can feel the atmosphere on your skin, if that makes sense. Like, it was just like crazy, loud. You couldn't talk to anybody. You couldn't really communicate. At this time, Baker just transferred over from Texas Tech, so this is his first year starting.
Shit.
Yeah, that team was really good. We had Mark Andrews on that team, Samaje Perine, Joe Mixon, Sterling Shepard, D.D. Westbrook, Charles Tapper. All these guys were NFL guys. We had high expectations for that year. Yeah. And Lincoln Riley's first year as the OC. So just remember going to that game, and in practice, they were playing the music and crowd noise. I'm like, no way it's going to be this loud. There's no way it's going to be this loud. And it was every bit that loud in the game.
Really?
Oh, my gosh. I remember the very first series being in my stance, and we're going on the clap. So I remember getting in my stance, and every time it was third down, they'd be like, third down for what? A big bung go off, and the crowd would just erupt and scream, and you couldn't even hear anything. And I'm in my stance. In the corner of my eye, I can see Baker, like, clapping. He's clapping like to indicate the center to snap the ball. But my center couldn't hear it, so he's just sitting there with the ball. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is about to be insane because, bro, so like any tackle knows when you're in that situation, you start to like scoot in your stance and narrow because I'm about to have to get out of here quick because I don't know when he's going to snap the ball. Yeah. I remember him just looking back and like looking between his leg, and he snapped the ball. And at that time, Kurt Majid, he actually played for the Riders.
Oh, shit. Okay.
He was a really good DN. He was right across from me. Yeah. And I remember just kicking on my stance and him screaming off the edge and me trying to get to that spot and pushing him by the quarterback. incomplete pass. The atmosphere was completely insane.
So how do you block that out? And how do you just play football?
Bro, I got used to it through the game. Like, that was my first time really starting a game of that magnitude on the road, right? I played a game prior to that where, like, we're at home, so the crowd noise isn't that big of a factor.
Yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal. But when you're on the road, it is a different animal. So just remember, kind of as the game went along, we changed the indicator on the sideline right after the first series.
Shit.
And I remember us going the first 3 quarters, nothing. But I remember us driving down the field, scoring a touchdown, and then going for 2, getting it, tying it up, going to overtime, and winning in double overtime over Tennessee. And they were both ranked at the time, so it was like a big victory. Crazy environment.
How was it playing with Baker?
It was pretty cool, man.
Like, did you know at the time he was going to be like who he is now?
So traditionally, he didn't fit the size requirements of a top-end quarterback.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing him because the year he transferred, he couldn't play. It's not like now where you can have the transfer portal. You have to sit out a year if you're moving schools.
Yeah.
So he would be the scout team quarterback. And I don't know if you remember Dorial Green Beckham.
No.
But he was like a top receiver coming out of high school a couple years ago. He transferred him from Missouri.
Okay.
And those guys on the scout team just tearing our starting defense apart every week. Tearing them apart. So I remember seeing him and being like, if he can do this, our defense right now that time we had a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be able to play.
Shit.
But even at that time, it was his leadership qualities that made him the guy he was. Like, he was a good quarterback, but his leadership qualities made him the guy he was at that time.
Like, was he a cool guy too?
Super cool dude.
Yeah.
Super cool dude, super chill.
Yeah.
Really good leader. Even if he wasn't the best at something, he was going to always give his best, if that made sense.
Yeah.
So just kind of seeing that process was really motivating to see.
Crazy, bro. Like, first round pick in the CFL and first round pick in the NFL on OU.
Yeah.
You know
the only difference is he makes
way
more money than I do. Way more money than I do.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
But yeah, it was super crazy experience because the guys, like I said, on that roster, we have a bunch of guys that are still playing to this day.
No,
I saw a stat: the Sooners have the most active players in the playoffs right now. Just saying.
Oh, really?
Out there.
Okay.
We got 9.
Active in the NFL got to be Alabama, right?
In general, definitely, I would just throw it out there and say Alabama.
Yeah.
Maybe Georgia or LSU may come in a close second.
Mm-hmm.
We're top 10 for sure. Jeez. I know that for sure. We have a bunch of guys still in there.
Do you see that thing that like Alabama players in the NFL made over $1.93 billion over their lifetime? Every Alabama player.
You know why? Because a bunch of the guys are first round picks.
Yeah,
they pump them out, bro.
Yeah.
I think what these guys do really, really good job of is scouting and recruiting players out of high school that are going to be guys, like the guys.
They just know.
Like, they're going to go there and they're going to dominate and they're going to come out there. Because you look at all these guys that have coming in there every year, super, super impressive, right? Yeah. Like, other schools may have to kick a guy and develop him a little bit longer, but Alabama, they recruit them 5-star recruits and they don't miss.
They recruit them when they're like 7th grade, 6th grade.
And those guys are just freaks. Yeah. Big, strong, athletic. Like,
who's OU's last first round pick?
Our last first round pick.
Well, I mean, not first round or first overall pick.
We went back to back with Kyler and Baker. The first overall.
Oh, that would be the first one. Yeah.
I think those were the last 2 with the back-to-back Heismans. And then we had, after that, Jalen Hurts. He came in, but he wasn't the first overall. He wasn't the first overall pick. He went maybe in the second round. Maybe. Yeah. Still, quarterbacks had a good run. Mm-hmm. We had Caleb, but he transferred to USC with Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
So we would have had another Heisman Trophy winner, but
crazy.
Yeah, the transfer portal spoiled our plans there, man. But
I know the transfer portal is crazy, man.
Super crazy.
What do you think of it?
So I understand why they did it because you have situations like a Joe Burrow who was at Ohio State not really playing. He's able to transfer to LSU and elevate a program, which you want your high-level quarterbacks to kind of spread out. That's what makes football watchable. Yep. And I think they kind of wanted to do that, not really thinking it would turn into what it is now. Like, now it is a free-for-all. As soon as a player is not playing within the first year, they are out of there.
It's crazy.
Because there's no real deterrent for you. Back when I was there, it's like, hey, if I transfer out of here, I got to sit out of your eligibility. There's a consequence to transferring. Yeah. Now we see people transferring 2-3 times. It's like, bro, why are you guys transferring schools?
Recruiters' jobs just got way more crazier.
Yeah, because now you got to recruit kids on your own roster to stay.
Yeah, I know. How do you do that?
I don't know.
That would suck.
I don't know. But, like, it's one of those things. It's just, like, you kind of have to figure out if they can play early, which sucks because you have those kids who, for the first 2 years, aren't really the best, and then the third year they figure it out, and then they go on to really good careers. But now it's kind of like, oh, like, I'm not playing, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then they go to another school.
Makes it interesting, though.
It does make it interesting. It has more parity, so now you have good players not only just in the big markets, but they're actually transferring to other markets as well too.
Look at TCU this year coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But TCU is one of those schools. They always are gonna do this. They're gonna have a bunch of young players. They're gonna, in the past, they would stay together until they're all like 4th and 5th year seniors, be very good, and then they'll go back into the bottom again. Like when I was in college, my second year there at OU, they beat us when we were ranked like number 4 in the country. Oh. Yeah, they beat us randomly. We weren't supposed to lose again.
How'd that feel?
Oh, it was horrible. Their fans rushed the field too.
Oh,
like,
shit.
That's like the worst feeling ever.
That'd be the worst.
I hate that. Like,
say, okay, go back to your senior year in OU.
Yeah.
You were talking about Tennessee, your second or first game here.
Yes.
So how'd the year finish off for you guys?
So we actually went to the Final Four. My year got kind of cut short a little bit sooner than that.
Okay.
So I remember in practice, going through some drills, and then we're going through some team stuff. I'm feeling this pop in my knee. I didn't really know what it was at the time. Shit. But it's funny, I didn't realize what it was until I hurt my knee this year.
Oh, fuck. Really?
Yes.
That's fast forward like 6 years.
Yeah, so like I thought I maybe just sprained my knee. Something wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I remember just taping it up and wrapping it up, putting a brace on it, and just playing through it. Not understanding, okay, like this is very uncomfortable. I really can't play through it, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up, after the Texas game, I played through it, had a horrible game. Mm-hmm. Probably my worst game I've ever played in my entire life.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep on playing on this.
And putting on bad film.
Putting on bad film.
Yeah.
So by the time I was healthy again, we had a young tackle coming in playing well, and they're just like, we're going to stick with the young guy.
Yeah, no, that's fucking crazy.
My expectation my senior year fell through, and like, okay, this is my last year. What am I going through? Where am I going?
What am I going to do now?
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I didn't really grow up in a CFL market. When I say that, I didn't grow up in like Saskatchewan or Calgary, Montreal back in the day, or Ottawa, and those places. I grew up in Toronto. I didn't even go to an Argos game until I played against the Argos. Yeah. Which was, I think, is something that CFL definitely needs to address.
Yeah. So you didn't even really know much about the CFL, or what?
Not really. I didn't really know much. I didn't really know much people who even came up here and played.
Yeah.
So my experience was just kind of like, I'm going to the CFL. Like, that was kind of what it was going to be.
Did you get any NFL looks at all, or any camp looks at all after that?
I had a couple. But I think it was just my agent and his plan of what he kind of wanted me to do at the time. And looking back on it now, I probably shouldn't have went with the agent I did go with, because I think that it negatively impacted my career.
I hear a bunch of that shit sometimes, man.
Gosh, horrible.
Because they're dealing with so many other people at the same time, right? You don't know if their interest is actually their interest.
Yeah. So, like, he kind of convinced me into, like, just signing up here straight away and not trying to take a shot down south, because he's like, yo, you have guaranteed money. You're probably gonna go first overall,
but not even close to the money you'd probably make.
No, not at all. If I was
even on practice roster, bro.
Yeah, if I would go do it again, I would have exhausted every single drop of my NFL opportunities before I came up here.
No, I feel that,
because once you kind of get up here, if the things don't roll in your favor the right way, you're kind of stuck. If that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Look at all the ballers that we played with.
No, I know.
And like, bro, why are you not in the league?
No, man, bro, trust me.
So it's just like, if you don't get the right opportunities or in the right situations, you kind of get into the situation where you're kind of stuck up here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should have just exhausted every single drop of it down south before, and then came up here if I needed to.
Shit happens for a reason, though, right?
100%, my friend.
Mm-hmm. You met your wife up here, or what?
No. So me and my wife actually went to high school together.
Oh, what the fuck? We didn't even have to talk about that. We'll have to talk about that. So you guys met in high school?
So I remember I was at summer school in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we're on the bus, and there's this girl who sat right behind me.
Okay.
And I remember just looking at her. I'm like, she's kind of cute, man. Let me shoot my shot. I remember back in the day, I'm probably going to age myself. Yeah. We had MSN. I don't know if you guys know what MSN is.
I remember MSN.
Messenger.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, what's your MSN? And she gave me her MSN. And we'll talk back and forth.
Yeah.
And kind of go through there. But then she ended up going to my high school the very next year. We never dated in high school or anything. We're friends.
Were you friends, though?
Yeah, we're cool. We're friends in high school. and we never dated. And then I went to the States. She went on a full soccer scholarship to University of Louisville and went down there and played 4 years. She's actually the real athlete in the family.
Damn, bro. So you were never in the relationship when you guys went to universities or colleges down south?
Not at all.
Do you guys keep in connection though?
No,
like,
we
keep in touch?
keep in connection. We'll talk all the time. We kind of use each other as like a crutch in the way of like, hey, like I'm having a tough time at school. Like, nah, stick in there. Like everything's gonna work out. Don't worry about that. Just friendship, really good friends. It was crazy because everybody like, oh, you guys seem like you're together. We had dated different people at the time. It wasn't really until after 3 years in the league, probably, when I was playing up here, where she was like, you know what, like, I think we should give it a try. Like, let's just try and date. And I was like, okay. She's going to watch this.
Like, okay.
That's not going to happen. I'm like, okay, I guess so. You know, it is what it is. Right. So,
damn, that's what I mean. Shit happens.
Yeah, it happens. So then after that, we started dating. And then got married in 2020. And then another kid on the way. And yeah, full-fledged family here, my friend.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know we were taking it slow there, but like I know we fast forward really quickly here. But how does it feel being a dad? Like, were you like prepared to be a dad one day in your life, always, or what?
No, I don't think there's any way you prepare or plan for kids. It just if you want to prepare and plan, you will never really be ready. If that makes sense. I remember we had been married for about 5 or 6 months, and then she came in the room and maybe a week. She's like, I just feel weird. Like, I don't know. I feel weird. I'm thinking, like, man, like you're fine.
Yeah.
And then,
you do this all the time.
Yeah. And then she was just like, no, like, I think I'm pregnant. Da, da, da. I'm like,
she just had a feeling. She didn't like take a pregnancy test or anything.
No, she had a feeling. So then, okay, I went and got her some tests. And she took the test, and she's like, see, I told you.
And what was your reaction? You were like...
I was, like, in shock.
Oh, shit. You switched up then.
I was in shock. I'm like, oh, I gave her a hug. I'm like, okay, it's exciting. I remember I had to go do something. And I went inside my car, and I was just like, I'm about to have a kid in that month.
Just sitting by yourself?
I was like, not like a small panic attack, but it was just like...
Yeah.
Like I'm going to have another person who's going to look to me to be a leader and to look to me to when... You know, like to be a provider and to really give a kid what all a kid needs in his life, and it's just like, oh, am I ready to do this? Like,
it's crazy.
Well, I guess you better
get ready to do it.
Better get ready to do it now. So
that's awesome, man.
Till this day, I will sit down and do stuff, and I'll just look at my son. And it's just like, you're my kid. Like, it's super weird. Like,
he's gonna look back. He's look back at this and just laugh.
You're my kid, bro. Like, and he does things, and the way he would like smile and act, like it's like, oh man, I love that kid so much, man.
Crazy, man.
And we have another one in the way.
Yeah, I was just gonna
say.
It's
like I can't even fathom loving another child the way I love my son. But like I'm about to have another kid and love them equally. People, how you love them the same? It's like, bro, I don't know if it's possible. Like, me and my son are just like, you know. So
is it true that your wife was number one forever, but as soon as the kid comes around, is he number one? Wife's number two.
I don't think so. I think the wife is always number one. I think the kids are a different category, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think the kids are more so like, you know what? I am doing my best to prepare you as much as I possibly can in this world. Mm-hmm. And I think when you have a wife, it's like, you're my partner in this, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's kind of like a different thing for me. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, like through thick or through thin, through sickness, through health, like that's my wife. We're gonna stick together. We're gonna figure things out. We're gonna whatever we need to do to prepare our kids. We're gonna do whatever we're gonna do in business. We're gonna do. Like it's somebody you actually have a chance to kind of grow and develop with.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and it's like a pretty cool feeling. And when you have a kid, it's like, okay, now it's like, how do we now best prepare them? How do we now make sure that they're starting a little bit ahead of where we started, you know what I mean? And that's in all things, either financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all those different things that you have to kind of impart.
That's all you want to do as a parent. Give them what you didn't really have, you know what I mean? 100%. But don't spoil them too much, you know what I mean?
I'm not a big spoiler. I'm a big person on is, okay, I'm going to make sure I try to teach you all the things in life that I may have learned at 30 when you're 20. Mm-hmm. So now you have 10 years to kind of build upon the knowledge you already have, right? I know a lot of times we kind of go through our ages in our early 20s where it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm going to have fun, I'm partying. I'm not saying that's all wrong.
No, yeah.
What I'm saying is if you have a plan in place where you can actually develop your goals and aspirations for life, it's better to do it as young as possible. Yeah, you don't want to be 30, something like that, still being like, hey, I want to rap. Like,
bro, I think if your parents listening to this, be proud of you. You know what I mean? I think I'm a little pastor in you, a little minister in you.
I don't know about that.
First house. Is it true? Is this your first house you bought?
Very first house, yes.
How'd you come to that? How'd you come to that realization? That
So, again, it was one of those things where we're talking and we're like, hey, you know what? We want to progress in life. We want to take the next step, right? And the next step in that is buying a house. We've been renting and doing different things. And a decision we came to was like, hey, you know what? We don't want to just buy a townhouse or just buy like a simple house to live in. Let's make our first property an investment property.
Yeah, for sure.
So we bought an up-down duplex and we actually lease out the basement.
Oh, you do?
Yes, which is one of those things where we're kind of going on this journey together. We eventually want to start to acquire more properties and rental the basements, rental the top, and kind of build a small portfolio of rental properties.
That's the way to do it, bro.
Yes. No, really, we really, and this is kind of how we go about things, or how I go about things. And I just try to get my family in order to kind of get the direction where we're going in life. Like, you know what?
Make money when you sleep, man.
That's the way to go.
That's how you got to do it. That's how you got to be financially free one day. So is it hard renting the basement to people you trust? I've always wondered that.
I think everything, you can't build wealth without taking risk. And I think that's a thing that most of my life was like, oh, I don't want to rent to anybody, or I don't want to do different things to take risk. But that's where I took a risk by going to California to play football.
You did, yeah.
I took a risk by doing a bunch of things in my life, right? So I think our game plan was like, hey, we know two things. Most of the millionaires are made through real estate, and we know we need to have at least 6 to 7 streams of income. So this is one way we can actually house hack. We're living upstairs, rent our basement, and in the process, save to buy another house and then buy another one and do it again. And do it again and do it again. And create passive income for ourselves to actually supplement another stream of income, which will give us more financial freedom.
In 20 years, man, or even 15 years, bro, you're laughing.
Facts.
Laughing.
Yeah, so now the next process we're talking about is kind of doing some more investments, not just here in Canada, but like overseas as well, too.
Yeah.
We want to buy a house for both of our kids and let it just get the equity to build in, and then when they turn 18, here's a property.
Seriously, though.
You can sell it.
Smart.
You can live in it. You can keep the income for yourself. I don't really care.
The Herman Reed brothers do that, hey?
Oh, yeah.
They go off.
They go off.
You talk to them?
Oh, I talk to them all the time.
Bro, they're so, like, entrepreneurish, man.
Yeah, and it's so
smart as fuck.
So motivating to me. It's funny because, like, I was like, okay, I'm acquiring maybe 1 property a year. And then he's like, yeah, we got, like, 3 properties.
Yeah, he's got, like, complexes and shit.
I'm like, and it kind of ignited the fire to me. Okay, I gotta do more. Like,
facts, bro.
I gotta do more, right? And I think
that's why you gotta surround yourself with the people that always want the same shit. You know what I mean? Want more in life.
100%. I think that's really, really important, especially when it comes to building what you want in your life. And I think especially because we play in the league we play in, the CFL, I always tell people, who wants to go from making, let's say on the low end, $70,000 in 6 months to go working in a factory making $60,000, $70,000 for the year? I know. Bro, you got to replace that income as fast as possible. And I think that doing that as well will give you a mental release where every year now, oh, am I going to be on the team this year? Okay, I'm going to live. I'm going to survive. Exactly. Once you get to the point where you're investing that money, and now you're not as tied to playing for as long as possible, which sucks, bro. I wish CFL was different where
I know
we didn't have to make those type of decisions for a livelihood, but I guess it is what it is.
It makes us it makes us smarter though at a younger age too. It makes us budget our money more. It makes us do smarter things.
Yes, it's really important because now you got to do all that stuff. You got to make sure you're budgeting for the off season.
Yeah,
you got to make sure that you're trying to grow your money as much as possible. Yeah. A bunch of guys have jobs, go to school.
Why do you think I'm starting the podcast, bro? Yeah. Why do you think I do training kids and all that shit? 100%. Just trying to so in 5 years, bro, hopefully this thing's doing something, and making money one day.
Making money, have another stream of income that can kind of grow your portfolio, so you're not gonna spend all your time, because we all heard those stories where people were playing sports and then they're done sports and then
they didn't save anything.
Oh, and then they're just back to square one. But now you're square one at 30 years old. Like that's
hard.
That's a tough spot to be in, right? So
proud of you fucking doing your thing, man. Buying a house and you know what I mean, making sure everything's set up for your family and shit.
100%.
A lot of people not doing that shit out there.
You got to, man. You got to. When it comes to those stuff, I'm very like.
You ever think you'd be like a mental health coach or a coach in life or something?
I think I would enjoy that. I think it's kind of just finding the time to set that up. I love mentorship. I've done a lot for like people in our community back home in Ontario. Mm-hmm. I didn't really think of it as a business rather than just like, hey, I have knowledge to pass on, so why wouldn't I?
No, true.
You know, so
you just got so much more shit to do at home right now to make sure your kids are more like
100%
on the right path.
But I did really enjoy it. I had a couple of kids who actually during the pandemic, we actually started this little like workout group. And it was funny because it was like, I'm not necessarily going to train you. Yeah. I'm going to work out and you're going to come work out alongside of me and we're going to all push each other to kind of get better.
Yeah.
The first time we went up there, it was like 5 or 6 kids. Then it was 15 kids. Then it was 17 kids. The next thing you know, we have like 20 kids showing up with their shoes and cleats and water to come do a workout.
That's crazy.
And just seeing the way it built during the pandemic was actually super cool. I really enjoyed it. Met a lot of really good kids who really inspired me because a lot of these kids during that time, they had goals just like I had at that age of going and playing Division I football.
Yeah.
And it was completely ripped away from them because it was like, okay, yeah, no schools are closed, no more football for a year and a half, 2 years really.
They lose all that recruiting film, everything.
Gone. And nobody really made any plans to make sure these kids who were in that time frame didn't fall through the cracks. A lot of them did. Bro.
Grade 11 and 12s were fucked, bro.
Oh, they were a lot of them
not playing football in grade 11 or 12.
Done.
You wouldn't even be making play.
And it's done. And I just remember meeting this, well, not meeting, I knew him before.
Yeah.
He actually was at University of Laurier. Isaiah Adams. I had a really good friend who was coaching a football team that he played on, and they was telling me about this kid. Yo, he's the next big thing out of the area, lineman. Like, come see him, check him out. I remember going and watching him and just seeing the way he moved. I'm like, yeah, he got it. Like,
you can just tell right away.
Oh, you can tell.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, he got it. Like, he's going to be able to kind of develop and move on and play in the next level.
Yeah.
And I think because I've played at the level, I can spot it very clearly of, okay, you need this in order to do that. Yeah. And once you check the boxes, I can see it very quickly.
Yeah.
And he just had it. And he at this time was what? Grade 9?
Yeah.
Grade 9. And I remember him going through high school and then him going to the University of Laurier.
Oh, he ended up making it?
Yeah, he went to Laurier and he was very... I would say discouraged. I think he saw other people in his age group go down south and play Division I football, and he was like, bro, that should be me.
Yeah. You can't think like that.
Can't think like that. But then during the pandemic, because of everything that happened, he was able to leave Laurier because they weren't playing football and transfer to a JUCO.
No way. He really wanted it.
Oh, he wanted it. And like, I would do my workouts. He came and he would drive an hour to come work out with me every single day, bro. One of the most proud I've ever been of anybody in my entire life. Because really, when people have every reason not to, but they find a way, that's just so motivating.
Where's he at now?
University of Illinois.
No
playing
way,
Division I football.
What's this guy's name? Give him a shout
Isaiah Adams. Isaiah Adams, my dog.
Shout out, bro.
Gonna be in the NFL.
So what year is he in?
This was his senior year. Because of COVID, they got an extra year.
Damn, man. You worked with this kid all the way from high school to like senior.
Yeah, but it was to be honest with you, bro, it was mostly him, bro. Like,
well, obviously, man. But is this like the coach back in like JUCO? Who's our coach out you were talking about?
Popovich.
So you trying to be like him or what? Or is that kind of inspired by him to help out others?
I don't think I'll definitely help out others. I don't think I'll be like the coach of like a university team, but I would definitely train like young linemen who wants to get more knowledge and improve their game in that aspect. So he just wanted it, bro, and like I said, he had every excuse not to, and he found a way. He drove an hour to go work out, came there all the time. He found a way to pay for it. He found a way to transfer to another school. When he went there, he stayed focused, got a chance to go to Division I.
Crazy, bro.
This year started every single game. Yeah, he's gonna get drafted to the NFL next year.
Yeah, he did what you did, bro, man.
Bro, and I'm super proud of him, man. Yeah. Super, super proud of him.
But people also don't understand that, like, a lot of things have to go right along your journey. You can't just be the stud in high school. No, right? I mean, you got to be the stud in university, then JUCO. You got to take all those opportunities along the way, man, and you can't fuck up at all.
No, you cannot all. You got to make sure you capitalize on everything. And a lot of times I tell people, football is really situational. Yep. So as you go into the right place at the right time, the right staff that cares about you doing well, and you're getting in the situation where you can actually make strides in that aspect of you playing sports, if that makes sense.
Seriously, bro.
Because that's why you look at some guys and be like, okay, why did he not do well here, but he did well over here? Why did, what's his name, bro?
I think a lot of it's mindset, too, bro.
Yeah,
if you're in a place where you're comfortable and you're trusted, and you don't, if you fuck up, they have your back, and no matter 100%. What, bro, you know you can go out there and do your thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know I mean? If you're going out there overthinking all your bullshit because you might get benched here, it's a completely different atmosphere.
That's not how football's played, man. You can't play football on a high level like that. You can't have the mentality of anything but go and play hard and play fast. And usually, if you're in a situation where you're allowed to do that, people generally do pretty well. No, that makes sense. But 100%, just seeing him kind of go and and kind of stretch forward and do that, bro. Super proud. I still talk to him all the time.
He still reaches out.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sweet.
Whenever we want to talk and get advice that bounce off each other, we definitely connect and stuff like that too. So hopefully,
sweet, man. Well, let's go back a little bit. So when you were saying you knew you were going to go to the CFL, did you know right away you were going to be the first overall pick?
No, because at the time I think I was like the 5th or 6th ranked.
I saw top 5.
Yeah,
you were number 5th.
Yeah,
you're 5th overall.
It was Tavon Austin, David Omnion. Who else was in that class?
All those two are playing in the NFL right now, by the way.
No, Austin. Tavon Austin, he was in the NFL for like a year and a half, and then came to CFL.
No, but isn't he in the NFL right now?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, isn't
he?
That's Tavon Campbell.
No, Tavon Campbell? No, Tavon Campbell's in the NFL.
Tavon Campbell's in the NFL. I thought was that the same draft?
Crazy story about Tavon Campbell.
He played in 5 CFL teams, got cut by all of them, bro.
And he's playing on Sundays. We were just talking about situation.
He played in the Jaguars game, bro. The other day.
That's what I'm trying to tell people. It's all situation based. If you're put in the right situation at the right time, you can play, man.
He went to the U of R where I went to.
Yeah. I remember when I came. He's a Toronto boy, so he played for the Thunder. So we had similar coaches kind of growing up.
Okay.
So I remember hearing about when I first got out here, and I remember he was on a team and it was kind of like working out and training with him. And I remember when he got cut, and I was like, bro, like, damn, they cut Tavon, like
what the fuck?
That's kind of crazy. And just kind of seeing him bounce around. I think for a year he was out of football playing rugby.
Yeah, he was. He's playing Team Canada rugby.
He gets discovered, and then he got an NFL shot. Went played for a little bit. I think he went
to the Jets.
Jets at first, and then after that he went to
L.A.
Yeah, started playing.
Started for the LA Chargers for a whole year, bro.
And then he got a chance to go play for the Jags
this year,
bro. Like I said, man,
he probably made more money in those last 3 years than he's ever made in the CFL. Or in his entire life.
Yeah, 100%.
Fuck,
bro.
That's why you just keep grinding, bro.
Deserves it, man. Keep working. You never know when your moment's gonna come,
bro. He got cut by 4 CFL teams, bro, and said you weren't good enough.
You weren't good enough.
Think about that. He could have hung up the cleats, and they just said,
and I think a lot of times when those moments are presented, and I don't only say this just for football. There might be people who don't even play sports or watching this. And moments in your life when you may feel like you're frustrated with the results you're getting, or you may not be where you want to be, just take that mentality of like, hey, just one more day of putting forth effort, one more day of making sure I'm doing the best I can, and become consistent in that and stack those days, and it will change your life, man.
Stack those bricks, bro.
100%. Look at, like you said, he had every excuse not to, and he did.
Yeah.
He could have gave up. He could have went back home and worked at Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. He could have did all type of things, but he's like, you know what? I'm not going to give up on this. Oh, I can't play football in the CFL. Let me go play rugby for a year and show people.
How do coaches miss that, bro, in the CFL? How do you miss that?
So I think this is my theory. So the CFL is not like the NFL who have scouts upon scouts, right? Do you think a GM is sitting there watching every single player's tape?
No,
he's not.
No.
Right? So the CFL is very name based. Like once you make a name for yourself, it'll allow you to kind of get more opportunities than others.
Yeah,
I think Tavon always had talent. He had track speed,
fast as fuck,
good size. Like you can see how he would play in the NFL, right? So I think when he got opportunity to show that, he may have found the right coach who was like, hey, well, this guy's potential.
Bro, it's the man. It's the right coach at the right time, too, man.
And they gave him a chance. He was on a PR for a little bit of the Jets. He got a chance to go to the Chargers, show what he can do, and then he started playing and starting in the NFL.
Crazy, bro. I remember when I got cut from Winnipeg last year, right before I came with the Riders, I sat down with the coach. He's like, he said to me right straight, I was like, you can't play special teams. That's why we're cutting you. just can't play special teams. Right? I'm like, okay, right? Yeah. And then after that, I felt like I wanted to quit and everything, but then the Riders picked me up, bro, and the next year I'm playing on every special teams.
Yeah.
I'm like, but not even like within 6 months, bro. Yeah. So how does one coach say you can't play at all, and the next year you're on every special teams?
It's all perspective. The beauty's not behind the beholder, man. Like you don't know what people are going through, and I give these GMs a break because they're job is so much harder than like the NFL because you can't just recruit straight based on talent in the CFL because the kids coming out of college who are super talented have it figured out are in the NFL. They're not playing here.
No.
So you have to look for, okay, who has potential? Where do we see this potential? How do we develop them? What do they need? What do they need for them to contribute in a meaningful way to our program? Right? And then you have to identify those things and put them in a position to do so. Yeah. So it's not like NFL where you're going to the draft and the top 10 picks are just these freaks of nature.
They'll be there for 15 years.
They're going to be there. They're going to come in. They're ready to go right now. If they're not a quarterback, you may miss a quarterback. For other positions, generally in the top 10, you don't really miss too often, right? CFL is different. CFL is a whole different animal when it comes to recruiting and scouting and evaluating talent.
Because you got to have 20 Canadians and 20 Americans on the field, right?
And you can't draft kids out of college who are not a project in some way.
It's crazy.
Because they're going to be in the NFL.
Exactly, right?
If you catch a kid out of college who has prototypical size, athletic ability, super smart, all these different things like that, has no holes in their game, they're going to the NFL. Look at Davey Amunada.
I know, that's what I was going to say.
Still playing NFL out of University of Manitoba. Really good D-lineman. Right? So
it must be hard for a fucking CFL GM then, hey?
Oh, it's super tough.
I couldn't even imagine.
I think you have to be able to identify talent, but also more importantly, you have to be able to identify what does this guy need and how can I provide that for him to improve his game.
Yeah.
So if you have a player who's like, he's just undersized, but if he gets more time to really improve his game, he will improve in this aspect. Okay, I can bring him on my team, and he may need 10 or 15 games before he gives me a real true return on my investment.
Yeah.
Or, we have this DB.
That's crazy.
He lacks size, maybe lacks top-end speed. Okay, maybe we take him, see if we can get some weight put on him, and move him to another position where he can kind of use his natural ability.
Or just use him for special teams only.
Something. But you can't draft people with the intention of them just coming in and being perfect day one. Or else it's not going to happen, right? Because if they were, they'd be playing in the NFL.
They'd be playing in the NFL. Yeah. That's what I mean. It must be hard as fuck to be a GM. Yeah. Could you do something like that? Be a scouting?
I think that's kind of what I always wanted to do. Like I'm like, when I'm done playing, I want to work in the front office for a football team.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get into those roles because, football is everybody kind of hires everybody, if that makes sense. Like the same guys bounce around from team to team.
Because they have connections, they have their friendships. Right? You know what I mean?
So it's like, okay, when I'm done playing football, do I try to get into that right after that, and I have a young family?
You gotta know somebody.
Yeah. So I think I would definitely like a role like that. I think I have an eye for doing different things.
Yeah.
But it's like, what does it look like now? And the CFO, I don't think they do a good job of really developing their brand to be able to provide that financial freedom for people to actually work in their industries, right? And their league, which is not a good thing. I think with the competition coming from the USFL and XFL now, they have to figure that part out.
When is that coming out? Is that coming out in next year?
XFL's already started, man.
No, XFL's already started?
XFL, they're having training camp as we speak, and the USFL starts in June.
I'm saying those two teams blow up, man, and if they get more money than some CFL guys, man, you don't think they will?
So this is what drives football. And I think this is why the CFL continues to thrive is those other leagues, what their issue is going to be is quarterback play, high-level quarterback play.
Yeah.
If you cannot get high-level quarterback play, your league is not going to do well. And I think another aspect of that as well is Americans probably view XFL and USFL as Division II semi-pro football. It's not the NFL.
Then what's CFL then?
I think that the unique thing about the CFL is we have the ratio.
Yeah.
So now you actually have people who are from your communities, like you're a Regina boy playing for the Riders.
Yeah,
that means something to those communities.
Yeah.
That I think that the CFL doesn't really truly understand right now.
I really don't think they do yet.
No, they don't. Because I remember they lowered the ratio.
Remember that?
Said that people don't care about Canadians playing anymore.
What do you think about that whole strike? Remember that in camp? That shit was fucked. This feels so long ago right now, but that shit was fucked.
I think as a league, we're just lost right now, and there's no true plan of what should be done. I think if you were walking to the whole board right now, be like, hey, do we have a 10, 20, 30-year plan of where the league should be? I guarantee you there's not one.
Oh, no.
I think they're going year to year kind of winging it.
Oh, for sure. Didn't we sign a 5-year one, though?
Yeah. I just don't think they have a real vision of what the league, because I can tell you right now, the NFL wishes they had the CFL game. And I say this because of this. Big field, 3 downs, exciting football.
It is exciting.
You can imagine if you took Mahomes, if you took what's the guy in Buffalo's name? Quarterback in Buffalo's name.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Even
Tyreek Hill, that fast motherfucker.
And you put these guys in the CFL will be explosively entertaining.
Bro, yeah, we play every special teams down. In the NFL, they don't. There's fair catches.
It's a super entertaining game.
Yeah.
What the NFL has done is they've put a claim on all the best players coming out of college for the most part.
Basically.
High-end quarterback play, which will gear towards big plays.
Yep.
And they understand the business of what they want to do, right? So I think if the CFL really wanted to start to climb those ranks, they have to figure out ways to improve the bottom floor of the play in the CFL. Mm-hmm. I think if I was a CFL, you know what I would do? I would go build a big prep school, and I would recruit all the best Canadian high school players and let them go there for high school.
And what would that do, though? Once those kids get so good, though, they say, fuck the CFL, I'm going to the NFL because I could rather make it there, though.
And that may happen.
Yeah.
But maybe if you get out of the class of 50 kids you bring there, if at least 30 of them come and play in the CFL,
I know that's
year after year after year, of all these kids who are having high-level training, high-level strength and conditioning, high-level coaching from a younger age, you're going to raise the floor. Mm-hmm. And now you don't have to worry about Division II football because these kids are local kids.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about lowering the ratio because these kids are already studs anyways.
Yeah, the ratio thing drives me crazy.
I know, it drives me crazy.
They said the ratio doesn't matter, and then they went raving about Nathan Rourke, which is a dog, by the way. Oh,
bro, yeah,
Canadian quarterback. I thought it didn't matter if he's Canadian. And then they went and had CFL 2.0 with the Globals in order to tap into markets that are not America and Canada because they play over there, and saying it doesn't. That's the same model they're using to attract people in different countries. Like, it just doesn't, like, that's why I said I don't think they have a real plan. They're kind of trying anything.
Who's doing it? Who's behind this shit?
Who knows, man? Who knows? It's probably people we don't know. But it's more so like the thought process behind all those things. You have to there has to be a plan. Yeah. Like I said, if you don't have a plan, we're just out here playing, we're going to be in a tough situation a couple of years when these other leagues start to get going a little bit.
If they offered you that job to run this shit, would you do it in a heartbeat?
Oh, in a heartbeat. But they wouldn't want me. They wouldn't want me doing that job because I'm shaking everything up. Yeah. We're gonna scrap everything. We're gonna look at every single thing we do that's gonna be done with a purpose. We're gonna figure out, okay, what is our plan? What do we want to ultimately get to?
What's the thing, man? This shit's ran by a fucking couple billionaires, bro, that own a couple like teams. You know what I mean? Like the Toronto, all the Toronto-based teams, 100%. And then that's basically it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if they own them. It's like, okay, what is our plan for this league? Yeah. If like, yo, we have a product we really believe in. How do we improve it? Okay, these are ways we can improve it. Okay, how do we get to that point? Okay, we're gonna do this, and then investing money in order to get to the place. I actually remember watching a video saying the CFL players at one time used to get paid more than NFL players.
When though, bro?
This is like
1980, 1970s.
This is years and years and years and years ago.
Yeah, the Canadian dollar was probably better too.
But at one point in time, it wasn't a far-fetched thing to be playing in the CFL compared to the NFL. I remember at one time it was a Rocket Ishmael who came and signed $1 million deal with the Argos out of college.
Even Doug Flutie and shit. Even who's the other guy, man?
Warren Moon. All these high-level players who did well up here and went down to see in the NFL. But they have to just do a better job of understanding what the direction of this is, understanding what the narrative is going to be, and understanding, okay, how do we build ourselves brick by brick, year by year? Mm-hmm. Like, it should be a situation that the CFL is in a better position next year than it was this year. And
they don't think like that, though.
Can we really say that with all confidence? Not really.
No, they just try to get it out every year.
They just want to get their ticket sales, get the gate sales, turn a profit, and be done with it. Yeah. And I think, that's cool until it's not, until we have a COVID year when we don't play. I think if they had a mentality of like, hey, we're going to grow this thing, We want next year, we want us to be worth more next year than we were this year. We want more eyes on us next year than we were this year. Tracking all those things.
You got to get people to run that shit who's been a part of it. You know what I mean? Not just these old heads, though. I'm not mean to call them old heads or anything.
Yeah, I just don't think they really understand. I think they understand business because you can't acquire that much wealth without understanding business. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they understand football business. I don't think they understand marketing to the tune of attracting young fan bases to actually tune in and watch consistently. So I think if you don't have that, then you're going to be stuck, right? You got to find ways to use Instagram, use Twitter,
even TikTok, even though it's
TikTok, bad. All those different things. Okay, what do young, hungry fans of football want to see? What is their game experience? What do they want it to be like? And catering it to that.
Man, we could do it, bro.
I know we could definitely do it. It's just are they going to allow you to?
Exactly. How much longer do you think you're going to play football for here?
If I want to be perfectly honest, I want to probably play until I'm about 35 and be done there.
So 5 more years?
Yeah, I think I'm good there. We'll see. Like, I'm a big believer in, like, I don't want to leave this game beaten and battered. Like, I want to, obviously, you're going to play football. You're going to have different bumps and bruises, but there's some people who kind of, they don't think about life after football. Like, I don't care who you are. Yeah. You're going to have to get a regular job after football. No one's going to leave this game rich, and no one's going to leave this game retired. You're going to have to go find something that's other than football, and I would love to have my body intact in order to do so, because if it's not, no one's really gonna bat an eye.
Seriously, man. And you said you were starting to work next week, actually. So an off-season job.
Just to keep... got an off-season job at KPMG, so gonna be working there. Shout out to those guys. I'm excited to get started over there. Just trying to kind of get my life into a full circle where I'm constantly bringing in income, constantly learning. I think this job's going to challenge me in a way that other ones haven't in the past. So get a chance to kind of learn and adapt and learn different things, meet more people. Me and my wife, we moved here full time now, so kind of meeting more people here in town. When you don't grow up here, it's like, like I know a lot of the people involved with the riders, and I've met more people this year than I have in past years, but you don't really know people, if that makes sense.
No, seriously, I know what you mean, bro.
Yeah, so
100%.
Kind of get into that process. But no, I'm super excited about that and being able to kind of dive into another aspect of life.
You look after the kids too and the family and everything. Yeah, make sure his income always coming in.
Gotta grind, man. Gotta grind. Gotta make sure everything is always good.
You ever think about doing Airbnb at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know. I was just thinking, because remember the properties you're saying?
100%. So I was actually thinking about Airbnb in Regina, but I was like, I don't know how that would actually do, how well it does. But I've heard rumors of people who are doing really well in Airbnb in Regina.
I don't know. I've never looked into it.
I would love, if you're listening to this, you do Airbnb in Regina, feel free to hit me up. I would love to know about your experience.
Sir.
Because I want to know, is it a viable business, or is I'm going to be wasting my time doing that? Please hit me up.
I always thought maybe do that and just put the place with IKEA furniture. Yeah. We don't have an IKEA in Regina.
Yeah, you have to all get shipped in if anything like that.
But it's so cheap. Just put it together, put really cheap shit in there just in case it breaks. You know what I mean? Just replace it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's a good idea too. It just like, do we have the people coming in here consistently renting out?
I know.
And I think during the season you might get a couple of really good weekends. But it's like, okay, who's coming to Regina in the middle of January to stay an extended period of time?
Exactly.
And
they do. People want to go out, man. I feel like some people like just want to go out, not to a hotel, and just want to have some drinks somewhere that's not their house. They do that. But it does suck, though, that sometimes people want to party there.
Yeah, 100%. I think Regina needs to do a better job of creating a more lively social scene here.
They really do.
I think, which I understand, I don't think that's really the main agenda of the city. I don't think they really care.
You're from Toronto, man.
Yeah, I know. So like, there's always something to do. So like, but when I talk to everybody's like, oh no, I want to do things. I want to get out.
But they don't do anything.
But nobody does anything. But I think if we actually had different, unique things for people to do, they would actually do a lot more. I think that is like, for instance, a couple of days ago, me and my wife were like, hey, let's do something. Yeah. Movies, go get food, maybe go bowling.
Bowling's fun. I'm going bowling tonight, actually.
Oh, okay.
We go to Glencairn Bowlodrome. We go there every Wednesday because it's half off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So me and my girlfriend and her brother and her mom, we go there and we're so competitive, bro. But it's normally like $20, so it's half off $10 for like 2 hours.
That's actually right by my house.
Wait, in Glencairn over here?
Yeah.
In the East End?
Yeah.
Well, man, feel free to come with us too if you want to. Tell the wife. But you have the kids and everything.
You got
a lot to figure out.
Hey, you don't. That's the thing when you have kids, you can't just get up and like at a spur of the moment. Let's go.
Can't do that anymore.
I gotta plan out 2-3 days in advance. I gotta find a babysitter.
Well, we should plan that out, man, because we do that every Wednesday.
That'll be fun.
That's what we do in Regina to get away.
Yeah. I'm seeing that thing is bowling. Like, it's nothing that's really exciting and young and different. No. That's why when you go to Toronto, it's always something. If you want to do something every day of the week, you can find something to do. Whether it's party, I'm not really much of a partier. Or something that's unique, like a nice museum, a nice like illusion museum.
Salsa night, maybe.
Salsa night. Hey, that'll be a fun little thing. Salsa night.
We should get a salsa night going.
It's just like we don't have enough stuff here, and I encourage all my friends and people in Toronto, if you want to start a business, move to Regina and get into the hospitality industry in some capacity, man. It's severely lacking in my.
Seriously, have you been to Wally Bees in Regina?
I have.
Amazing.
Really
Shout out Wally.
Shout out Wally. Really good food. Really good dude too.
Yeah. I just went there like last week, 2 weeks ago with my buddy Nolan. He told me about it. I just sat in there and met Wally and everything.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about the place.
Really, really cool dude. I remember going there during the season because I was driving by and I saw it in the corner of my eye. I'm like, what is this place? And I saw Jamaican cuisine. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And my family's Jamaican, so Jamaican Dominican. So when I turned around, I was like, okay, I gotta try this place. So I remember going home, telling the wife, I saw this Jamaican restaurant, we should try it. I want to go back, grab some food. The food's really good. Yeah. And then we would just go.
Was it good? Was it like super authentic? Because I can't tell. Yeah.
Super good. Like, it's really, really good. I think if I would give it a rating out of 10, Actually, I'll give it 10.
Yeah,
I'll give it 10.
You have to give it 10.
Yeah, it's pretty good food.
Very authentic too.
I think the only thing that might beat it is if you have your old Jamaican grandma or mom or aunt that can cook it right off the pot. But going to a store, I don't think there's much you're gonna really get better than that.
If you had to start another business other than Airbnb or something like that, would you start a little restaurant business? Or if you had to like venture into being an entrepreneur, what would you do?
See, like, I think I love being around people. I like talking to people.
Yeah.
So I would do definitely a restaurant. Just like, bro, when you have kids and like a family, getting into that level of risk of entrepreneurship is maybe a little bit too much for me to stomach. But bro, if I could have like disposable cash where I can start a restaurant, I definitely would do it.
Yeah. You and the wife just gotta do a podcast, have the kids in here and everything. Just have a whole family podcast.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. I know we're me and my wife, we have big goals, big dreams, and we just try every day to kind of make sure we're moving towards that every day. And I think that's the best you can do. Like,
no, man, that's so cool that you have somebody to do that with every day.
Yeah,
that's like all you can ask for in life.
Yeah, I think that's a really big thing when I tell people about like finding a partner. Make sure that person is on the same wavelength as you when it comes to like what you want out of life, and not just I want this, but I want this, and I'm willing to work and sacrifice for it. Yeah. There's a big difference. There's a lot of people around saying that they want to be millionaires, but they sleep in every day. Seriously. They don't do anything new in terms of business. They don't improve their skill set and learning. They don't do any of that stuff, right? So
exactly, bro.
If you're going to be like, hey, these are my goals and aspirations, put in effort to make sure every day you're doing something. Sometimes people think that I got to build a business within 2 weeks.
No, man.
Maybe you just like, hey, what's my idea? Get it on paper. Take 20 minutes a day and just write a little bit. Write a little bit.
I always say, like, we didn't become professional athletes overnight.
No.
We had that dream since we were in grade 9 for you, and even I was 8 years old, bro, playing this game.
100%.
You know what I mean? You think a business is going to happen overnight? It's going to take years and shit.
And it may fail, but you're going to learn something out of that.
Yeah.
And you can roll it into the next business. That's kind of how it goes. When you kind of hear a lot of people who are very successful speak, you hear consistency, you hear dedication, and you hear, you may fail, but don't worry about it. It's going to be rolling into another business, another idea, because you're going to learn off of that, right?
Exactly, man. Just keep trying.
You have to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, just when you're working out, like, for instance, you don't lift 2 days to get ready for the football season.
No.
It's weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of reps upon reps upon reps. Like, seriously. For instance, how much time do you think you did bench press? Probably taking 3,000 bench reps by the time the season started, right? Over time, that builds your strength.
Think about your whole life.
Yeah, that's the same. That's what life is. It's just every day, small steps, gearing more and more towards your goals. And you look up in 3 years, and you're like, wow, like I spent the last 3 years taking 20 minutes a day to start my business, and now, like, I'm about to really start my business.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, you look back at it and you're proud as fuck at it.
100%. You have to be, man.
I was gonna say too, man. Like, you played with the Riders for 2016 to 2018, right?
Yeah.
Had a little stint with a few other teams there, but came back right away in 2020, and then we had a year off, and we still played with the Riders last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year, you're still kind of up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen with free agency. I was going to say, is it hard knowing that you have a house here and have kids in Regina and everything, and you might not be able to come back next year, or you might go somewhere else? Like, how does that go through your mind?
Not really. I think credit to my wife. We kind of came to the grips with, hey, we're on this ride.
Yeah.
And it may not always be easiest. It may not always be the most comfortable, but we're going to make sure we make the best out of our situation, right? Yeah. So you can't be scared to pick up and move to a Montreal or an Edmonton or a BC. Like, wherever the opportunity comes best for you to maximize your opportunity to win, opportunity to provide for my family, you have to be able to take it. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of times in life, we take the comfortable route. And I feel like nothing worth having is ever down that comfortable route. It's through that tight, narrow path is where you get to where you want to get to in life, right? If you want to be the top 1%, you got to do what 99% of people are not doing. Seriously, and it's always uncomfortable. People do not like to do things that are uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. Things that are not feeling good, that's probably where you should be pressing the most into.
Crazy, man. I like how you just, like, you have it set, man. You're not worried about anything. You just know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you know you're going to take it.
I could be able to practice a bit.
Oh, yeah, man. That JUCO life.
Yeah, so, like, it's just over time, you kind of develop this callous to different things in life, right? You begin to develop in that aspect, and it's crazy because I would never want to go through this, but when you go through it over and over and over, it conditions your mind and and your soul and your spirit to kind of deal with it in different ways. So I could be fretting, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? I don't know what's gonna happen, or I don't want to. I want to go here. I want to do, like, bro, what is for you is gonna be for you. Relax, chill, put in the work, so be deserving of what you want.
Awesome.
As long as I can do that at the end of the day and be deserving of what I want, I can stomach anything that has.
Shit, man. Does your parents sit down and talk to you like this sometimes, or what? Or how do you, like, you're a great speaker, by the way,
bro. I've learned all this through life, man. Yeah. Like, I think that I've had different people who kind of came through my life and really spoken to me, and I'm a sponge. Like, there's two people in this world. There's people who are faucets and people who are sponges.
Never heard that, but I love it.
I made it up. So when you guys hear that, that's mine. Don't steal it. Like, I gotta be a sponge. Like, and every room has those different things, right? So there's gonna be people who are talking. There's gonna be people who are listening. Yeah. I try to listen as much as possible because I'm gonna pull things to that conversation and then carry it through. It could be something that I heard an O-line coach say when I was a second-year university student that sticks with me. But okay, yeah, that was good. That's gonna help me in 10 years when I'm teaching my son how to ride a bike. Like, you never know what that information is, but I try to retain as much as possible. Yeah. And then through doing that, you become more, I would say, wise in order to know, okay, this is something that's BS. Okay, this is good information. Yeah. This is beneficial. This is something I need to really implement in my life. This is something I need to get out of my life. And all the time you do grow, you develop, you change over.
Crazy, man.
How gonna go, man.
You got it, man. You know what I mean? You got it. Like you got your shit together. You know what I mean?
Hey,
it seems like it, anyways.
What does that look like?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
What does that look like?
Nobody knows,
bro. Everybody's running their own race.
Seriously, brother. I was gonna say too. Has your family visited you? Has seen your new place at all?
No, not yet. Actually,
they haven't.
No, they have not. They haven't seen my new place yet. So we just bought it in September. I think they're gonna probably come down here in the next couple of months when we have the baby. I know my wife's family, they're gonna come down and actually hang out with us for a little bit to make sure she's good, because we're about to have 2 kids under 2.
I know, that's
and
crazy.
I'm working full time. I'm training. I'm doing different things. It's gonna be really, really tough to give the help, and I feel bad about it sometimes. But having her family come down to kind of help with the initial process for the first couple of weeks, and I'm probably gonna try to take some time off of work to do that and kind of get squared away there as much as possible.
Is it weird not having any family in the city?
It's super tough, man. It's super tough. I didn't really estimate it'll be as hard as it has been. I think when we had our first kid, I kind of like, yo, this is tough. Like, I want to take my wife out on a little date, and it's just like, I gotta find a babysitter. Yeah. And they can't find any and everybody to watch your kid. But you gotta find somebody you trust. That's or maybe some days like we're both super tired, but that baby's gonna wake up at 6 a.m. on the dot and cry. Like, you know what? So I gotta get up. You know, we gotta make sure he's attended to and he's taken care of. There's no one really to be like, "Hey, mom, take the baby for a day." And I know. It's kind of like,
and you just trust it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You just trust everything.
I think that's the toughest part. And then there's certain experiences you want to share with your family.
Seriously.
And then not being here is always a tough thing to kind of swallow. But I think it's getting better as we're meeting more people, as we're kind of creating deeper roots and longer relationships here. And as we continue to do that as well, that's going to be easier and easier and easier. And
seriously, bro.
Any of my family members want to move to Saskatchewan?
That'd be great.
It's your open invitation, my friend.
So with the house, whether you buy the house here, you think you're going to be here for like the whole life, or what?
Not
your whole life, but for the next 5-10 years, do you think?
Definitely. I think being in Saskatchewan, because of the cost of living here, it gives us an opportunity to get the head start financially we want in our life, right? Yeah. We had a decision to make. Do we go back to Ontario and have to scrape to put pennies together to make sure we're meeting our basic necessities, or can we try and get ahead as much as possible by being in Saskatchewan and having a lower cost of living? In life, there's always choices. Yep. And everybody's going to have to live with those choices, right? Yep. So that's kind of what we did. And it hasn't been easy. It was not the easiest thing in the world to be like, I want to have 2 kids hours away from any family that can help.
Hours, yeah.
On a plane, too.
Yeah.
But it's been definitely beneficial and allows us to kind of shoot for some of the goals that we have in life, whether it's investing, whether it's getting our kids into more sports in the future, whether it's allowing us to actually take time where we don't have to, my wife doesn't have to rush to work. She can actually spend time and be home with our children. Like,
you enjoy Regina then?
I do. I'm a small town guy, man. I don't really like a lot of glitz and glamour. So Regina, I think the things I like about it, super small, 50 minutes there, corner to corner. People here are super friendly. I like the culture around sports here in football. I like the culture around different youth football and youth sports here. I think you guys take it very seriously.
Yeah, they do. We do.
Very, very good for young people. I like it, man. It's super,
good football town.
Yeah, the cold is the only thing that's like.
I know, man. So shit.
If Regina was a tropical island, it would be billionaires would live here.
Yeah, but that's why it's cheap to live here, man. Because it's freezing as fuck.
You gotta make a choice, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man.
I appreciate you having me, man.
We're gonna have to get into the what's it called right now, the film study. You want to get into that quickly?
100%. Yeah.
So, we're gonna get into some film study right here. Josiah's gonna get into it, kind of break down some shit for us. I just want to give you guys a heads up here. Alrighty, we have Willie Jefferson here, one of the best defensive ends in the league. Everybody starts to say he's a great guy too.
Yeah, really good dude.
One of your teammates and one of your competitors, actually.
Yeah, he played here. He came my rookie year, and he was here until 2018. So I played 3 seasons on the team with Willie. Really, really good dude. Really good athlete.
Yeah.
Really good guy, man. Explosive football player.
So you're not really nervous going against him then, eh? You kind of got him figured out a little bit?
I don't think I'll say I got him figured out, but I understand how he rushes.
I feel
so I know when ways he can hurt me and when ways he's not going to really try, if that makes sense. So I know Willie, his whole game is he's a better athlete than you. So he's going to get you in space, he's going to make you look silly, he's going to run around you. So I kind of had to come with the mentalities. I'm going to play my game and use my skill set. So I always tell a young lineman, understand your body and what you do well, right? So for me is I have good feet, I have long arms, and I have pretty good size. So I know I want to set him to basically either bowl me or rush outside in the general angle. I'm going to build my house on the spot and use my hands to force him one way or the other, right? So
when you say build your house, what do you mean by that?
So in football, when offensive tackle is setting, I know there's an angle in which I need to set to get to a spot where we're going to have the intersecting point, right? You'll see a lot of times young linemen will get to that spot and they'll back up a little bit or they'll underset. My mentality is I'm going to get to that spot and let my talent take over. I'm going to get to my spot. I'm not going to back up. I'm not going to give you more space. I'm going to set you, and as soon as you come in my striking distance, I'm going to use my hands and force you one way or the other.
Let your instincts take over.
Got to let it take over, man.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you thinking about Willie right now in this stance?
So he's not super wide, so I wouldn't change my angle based on what he did. So in this instance, I just kind of got to my spot, and once I realized that he was going to jab inside based on his angle, I made sure I got good contact to redirect him in some way. If you don't get your hands on Willie, it's going to be a long day. Just because of how athletic he is. So I got to that spot, made sure I punched my outside hand, forced him wide.
And you see how he backs off like that?
Yeah.
Like he's just trying to get that pick.
Oh, yeah, because Willie's known for backing off, knocking the ball down, picking the ball off.
Yeah.
He's really, really good when it comes to stuff like that. So as soon as he backed up there.
You still keep your eyes on him, though, when he backs off, eh?
100%. Yeah. All right? So, I knew something was going on. I got a good shot at him the first time. So I'm like, okay, he's about to either try and knock this ball down or he's going to try and get in a passing lane because he's 6'6".
Seriously.
But as soon as I see him dart off to the other side, I knew that Cody left the pocket at that point in time. And I was hoping, hey, when you leave the pocket, you are on your own, my friend.
You're on your own.
So he came, forced out, and then he was able to get the ball out.
Sweet, man. Hey, well, I really appreciate that.
100%.
And we're going to have a lot more film corner talk with St. John, my man. And we got Dan Clark on here, too. And it's going to be really good shit. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. It was really in-depth, deep podcast with our guy, man. And I really hope he's staying around Regina next year. And I hope you're cheering him on and his wife and his kids, man, because they're really great group of people. Thanks a lot, brother.
Man. Oh, appreciate me having on the pod, man. Yeah. Keep doing the work you're doing. I think it's amazing. I've been checking it out every single episode.
Appreciate it.
Make sure this is the most watched episode.
It will be.
Oh, yeah, 100%, man.
It will be. Thank you.
Appreciate you, my dog.
Thank you. You will be back on for sure.
Oh, yeah. Let me know. I'll be back on.
100%. Thank you, my man.
Oh, yeah, good.